Happy VA Wednesday. So today I'm going to teach you how to make sure the lender you're working with is not a charlatan. That's right, charlatan. Let's bring back that word. So here's what I've noticed. Over the last few months, I was doing some research on other lenders because there's like a couple lenders that all of a sudden are doing a ton of VA. And I was like, what are they doing? So with one, I went to their website and I was like, at the time I went to their website, rates were like 6%, no points, no lender fee. The website said, VA loan, 5.375, apply now. That was like the whole page on my desktop, right? However, you know, I was like, wow, like how could they even have these rates? Like I see rate sheets from all these different companies. You know, I know it's in the margins. Like I'm very in the know when it comes to pricing. And I'm like, that is not a real rate unless they're charging a ton in points. But the way this website looks, it makes it look like they have this crazy low rate. And there's a big apply now button. So the average consumer, right? You're the consumer. I'm a consumer when I get a loan. They're gonna go to this web page and they're gonna go, wow, this guy has the best rates. And they're gonna click that button. They're never gonna scroll down, never. But that's the thing. As soon as I scrolled down in very fine print, it said, rate as of XYZ date with 20% down. Who the hell does that on a VA loan? Like less than 5%. A 720 credit score and 3.6 points. Okay, let's just do some basic math. So if you're buying a $300,000 house, 1 point is $3,000. 3 points is $9,000 to get that rate. And then you got the 0.6 on top, which I'm not going to do right now. But here's the thing. So you go to that website and you're like, well, I talked to Jen. She's at 6% and he's at 5.375. But he's going to charge you over $9,000 to get that rate. Does it math out? No, of course it doesn't math out. But that's not the sales pitch, right? And that's what you guys have to watch out for is the sales pitch. The sales pitch is you're never even going to realize it has that many points because you don't scroll down. You've just watched this video. So whenever you see something that looks so good, look at the asterisks, there always is one, and then look for the fine print. Okay? And if the fine print has 1, 2, 3, or just ridiculous scenarios, right? You know, a VA loan, the odds of someone putting down a 20% is so low that it's like they're advertising for something that doesn't really exist that often. And it is an FTC violation. However, does the FTC actually go after everybody? No, they just go after the big people, guys. They don't go after, you know, little guys here and there. They want the big kahunas. They want the multi-billion-dollar corporations. They don't care about one-offs. But you do, because the way it works is you see the low rate, you do the application, you know, you get approved, everything else, and then you're like, well, wait, what about the rates? And then at that point, they tell you what the real rate is. And if you go, well, I wanted this. Well, guess what? They've got documents of what they've quoted, and they're going to show that APR. And you're going to be like, oh, I should have known. It's my fault. No, it's not. It's not your fault. Like, here's the thing. That's the thing. That's the way a lot of these sleazy lenders do it, is it's buyer beware. It's like, hey, if you don't know, then you get what you get. And then people just feel stupid. But it's like, I feel like our job as lenders is to make sure that what we're offering you is as realistic as possible. So whenever I'm quoting a borrower, I'm doing it based on their situation as well as with no points. If they want to talk about buying down the rate, sure, and we'll do the math. A lot of times I do the math and I'm like, it's going to take 10 years for this to make sense. Like, I think rates are going to go down before 10 years. So if you refinance before 10 years, all you've done is wasted your money. I don't want you to waste your money, right? And you're like, well, yeah, that makes sense. But here's the thing. You've got this clickbait website and you've got veterans just going to it thinking they're going to get this rate, and then this bamboozle is occurring. So watch out for that. That's charlatan number 1. Charlatan number 2. So charlatan number 2 is in the servicing space. And what they're doing, and servicing is like once you buy a house, lenders sell your loan goes to Ginny, but then the person who sends you your bill every month can change. And in this case, one of the biggest ones, what they do is they like call you every month. They're like, yeah, it's time to refi. They love to pitch debt consolidation. Seriously, debt consolidation is their big pitch. And you could have a crazy low rate and they'll talk you up to a higher rate by saying, well, but if we pay off these credit cards, then your monthly debt's going to go down. Your overall cash flow is going to be better. Blah, 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 blah. Big words, big words. Here's a graph. Here's a graph. Okay, here's the thing though. Would I give up a low rate to pay off debt? No, not unless it was something you can't get out from any other way. Like if you're about to lose that house, if it's like something that's gonna no. And I would probably talk to a bankruptcy attorney first and see if I could keep the house. But that's the thing, is they're using spreadsheets and fancy words and cash flow to try to pressure people. And I was talking to someone who actually, this happened to, and they're like, Jen, when all was said and done, they made more off of that refinance than I got to pay off in debt. That's not right. That's not right. But here's the messed up part. So it's like if you're doing a VA interest rate reduction loan, there's protection for you as a veteran. If you're doing a cash out, there's no protection for you. Like, it's stupid, but literally it could be like you're getting $1,000 cash back, and that's considered a benefit even if your rate goes up 1% and the lender makes 20 grand. Seriously, that stuff can happen. So if you're watching this right now and you're like, oh my God, this might be me, but I haven't closed, like, call us. Let us look at the paperwork. Let's talk through your scenario, because we may just talk you out of refinancing. But that's the thing. That's the second charlatan I'm seeing. It's the person that's talking veterans out of great loans into higher interest rate loans by using the concept of cash flow. Whenever you're paying off debt like credit cards, unless you're never going to do it again, all you're doing is stripping your equity and getting yourself into a deeper hole. I cannot stress that enough. And if you have a partner, maybe you're like, well, I don't want to be in debt, but she spends too much or he spends too much. Guess what? If you pay off all the debt, if he or she doesn't change, you're just going to end up in the same pickle, but you'll have less equity and a higher rate, and it's just going to be worse. So really watch out for that charlatan. Oh, who else do I want to cover? Ooh, the third charlatan. Love this one. The third charlatan is where they lean heavy on military, and it's like everything's military. Their website's military. They're wearing military clothes. All they do is talk about the military. Instead of talking about loans, they talk about military. And here's the thing. You need a lender that can do loans. I know. It's like if your plumber was in the military and they have this great record of service, like, that's awesome. I think that's great. But they also need to be a good plumber, right? And they need to talk about their plumbing, and they need to have reviews about their plumbing. And they can't just use the fact that they served to make you feel like they're the best plumber, right? Same thing with lenders. And sometimes what we see is we see people, and like sometimes they're not even former military. Like, I've heard like claims of stolen valor before, which to me is like, it's just so gross. It's so gross. It's like, look, we all know I didn't serve. We all know I don't have the courage to serve. My father and grandfather did, okay? But me, no. No, I do not have the disposition. I'm a chicken. But people are like stealing valor to pretend like they were in the military when they weren't, to try to get loans. It's just so crazy to me. So watch out for that. So if you see a bunch of advertising that's really military heavy, like, just ask yourself, okay, but are they good at loans? Are they going to give me a good rate and fee? Like, still shop them, right? And look, are there people who are former military who are awesome lenders? Yeah, there are. But are there people who are former military who are actually charging a lot more as lenders and not doing a great job? Yeah, there are. So really make sure you're always shopping people, wrap it up. I could go on for days, because there's also the charlatans in your mail. If you ever get anything in the mail and it's like, call the loan service, don't call the loan service, throw it in the trash. Like, it's not me, it's not your lender. We're never going to refer to ourselves as the loan service. It's a predatory lender that's trying to trick you into calling them. Anyone who advertises interest rates in the mail, it's a scam. Interest rates change every single day. So unless they're hand delivering it to your door the day that they printed the piece of paper, it's BS. Okay? So watch out for that, because I've already been getting the calls where they're like, Jen, they say it's 5%. It's a scam. You know, if you read the fine print, once again, it's going to say it's with XYZ points and call, right? Because it's only good on the day they printed it. And sometimes I've looked at some of these and they're like a year old. I'm not kidding. It's nuts. Same with TikTok ads. You know, you'll see an ad where it's offering these really low rates. You're like, oh my God, rates have gone down. This is great. But it's an old ad and they haven't updated it to what rates are. So really watch out for that. Okay, I could go on forever. I'm going to stop. But watch out for this stuff. And if you're ever like, I don't know, Jen, like call us, 786-933-2077. Now look, would I like to be your first choice of lender? Yes, absolutely. It saves both of us a lot of time and energy. But if you're in a pickle, or if you're like, well, I think I have a good lender, but like, can you just check? Of course. And guys, I am the first person that will be like, hey, this is actually a pretty good deal, you know, or this is a great deal, stay with them. Or I will say, they are hosing you, let's rescue you. So reach out, here to help, but watch out for that stuff. Like there's just so much charlatan bullshit behavior and life is too short. Like it's your home loan to buy a house. Let's make it simple and let's get you a great deal.